If your Facebook ads still look like this, stacked ad sets, layered interest, random budget splits, you're wasting money. Meta changed the game again this year, and if you're still running ads like it's 2020 or even 2024, you're leaving profit on the table every single day. And the good news, the new way is simpler, more effective, and way easier to manage. So today I'm going to be breaking down exactly how we're setting up Facebook ads and Instagram ads for our clients and the brands that we are working with in the clothing brand space so that you can stop guessing and start scaling. Number one, let's go ahead and jump into this campaign. The new campaign structure is clean, controlled, and focused. First things first, Meta just rolled out one of the biggest ad structure updates in years, the Advantage Plus campaigns. So assuming you have your ads manager set up, you have all of those things, when you get inside of here to create a campaign, and I'm working on an account that is extremely old because it is one of the few, I think very few of our accounts have the new look here. I would say maybe 30-40% of our accounts do. Most of them do not still. And it looks a little bit different. So I'm going to show you everything that is going on within these campaigns and the changes that are happening with it. First and foremost, let's go ahead and I can lay it out as if I was going to build it. But first, if you are a clothing brand owner, I don't want you to go for anything other than sales. This is nothing new. So go ahead and hit sales. It looks pretty much the same. This is the big thing here, right? So it says you no longer need to choose a campaign setup, so no longer doing a manual sales campaign setup, which we suggest. And all of the content and all the videos that we've created before, it's not that they're obsolete, but pretty much they're going to change because of this, okay? I'm not gonna tell it to not show me this again, but let's look at this. So it says, now called Advantage Plus Sales Campaign, formerly called Advantage Plus Shopping Campaign. This setup is on by default with a campaign score of 100 and Advantage Plus. Now, Meta has released and said there is going to be an optimization score over here or campaign score, and it is going to be specific to us. Sometimes you can take advantage of that, and sometimes it is very quick to just optimize your account. Sometimes you really should know what's going on and maybe not optimize something, not change something. We've had many members inside of our program actually who are like, Meta said I could lower my cost by 30% by just clicking this button. They click it and then basically their sales halt completely. So Meta's doing their best to try to help us here, but again, take it with a grain of salt. Nothing really changes too much here. We're not going to turn on the catalog ads unless we actually have catalogs that we want to run here. Scrolling on down here, there's not really too much of a change here. Desired category, again for clothing, we're not going to really adjust or anything with that. There are no special categories unless you're doing something maybe political for that. We do want to do campaign budget, okay? You have an option to do ad set budget. So CBO is more like this. Not really a reason to do the ABO. So this is ad set budget optimization, campaign budget optimization. So if I look at it like this, basically at this level, it's like at the campaign level, the budget's going to control, the budget goes throughout the ad sets. This could be a concept of like an us versus them. This could be like a TikTok style content. And then whichever one is doing better, the budget will get distributed here. What we like to do as humans is have control. And so a lot of people will say, let's do ABO. And what ABO does is says, okay, here's the campaign. So this not really mattering at all. Here's the ad set level. And I'm going to control it. I'm going to make sure that my TikTok content gets $10 a day. And then I'm also going to make sure that my us versus them gets $10 a day. The problem with that is that if the TikTok content sucked, it's still getting budget. If this content did really well, it should be able to get more spend. And so this one over here could improve our chances of lowering our cost per acquisition. And this one is actually costing us more money. At the campaign level, I want Meta over here to give money to the winner. This one over here, I control it and I have to go in here and I have to manually go back and forth and figure out what's working. And hopefully I don't waste too much time and realize that this just needs to be killed. And this is where the budget is at. Versus now I just need to turn this off when I feel like it. This one's scaling and adding new content. So campaign, budget, optimization. That's what you should choose here. All right, budget per day. I always suggest $100 a day. You can choose it however you would like. If you're a new brand starting out, you could do as little as 30. You could technically do as little as 5. Over on the right-hand side here, I'm going to hit on that a little bit. So this says Advantage Plus Sales Campaign. Doesn't really matter. There is no on and off button. It's just on. This is it. You're using budget at the campaign, right? That's where we have it. If I switch to ad set, it would just say here. This is going to talk about placements. We'll hit on all of that on the campaign level. Not too much has changed. And audience segmenting and reporting, not really anything that we can do. All right, so audience segment reporting. Let's go ahead and look at this so we can look at the reporting side. For whatever reason, it's grayed out for me. I'm assuming at this point because it's an account that I'm not really using that much. So we're gonna go over here, engaged audience, and I can actually put in or create a custom audience. So you can do it a couple of different ways so we can get more insight. It says here, these are people who are aware of your business or interacted with your business, and you could do an existing audience URL parameters. We could put it in that way. So build an audience with the URL parameter, add an audience segment to your website URL to track them in third-party tracking tools, build an actual audience segment. So basically, if you use a tool like TripleWell, which we suggest if you're spending about $100 a day or so, you can use a tool like that. There is a link in the description down below to go find out more about them. I mean, I believe you also get like a discount if you end up using them. But if you're not spending $100 a day, don't really worry about it, or you're not on multiple platforms, don't worry about it. But that would be kind of this URL tracking here so you can figure out where you're at as far as sales so you don't have a blind spot. Okay, so let's go back over here and let me just share with you. So the segment reporting, the way that I understand it is that if you plug in an audience, you have an opportunity at the ad set level, which we'll talk about, where you could go after more of your existing audience and percentage of a budget to go after. So it's kind of like retargeting. Or you could exclude people, which we have done in the past. If you've been around for a while, you have a lot of purchases, and you're focusing on acquisition. I'll give you my thoughts on that here in the ad set level in 1 second. Before we even get into the ad set, I also just want to say, just kind of going back to the campaign, we always suggest one campaign per concept. That's not going to change. We also suggest when we get into the ad set levels that you have, depending on the objective, you may have different concepts of creative, and we do that at the ad set level. So campaign level for objective or per country, one campaign, and then the ad sets do the actual focus on different concepts. So one ad set, yep, it is literally still just going to be that one campaign for the most part for most brands. Hey, before we get into the ad set side of things, I just wanted to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. So I'm Aaron, and I run the company alongside my business partner, Christian, called Bit Branding. We help clothing brands scale through systems, smart strategy, meta ads like this that actually work specifically for clothing brands. We don't work with anybody else. We only create content for you guys. So if you're here and you're a clothing brand owner or accessory, right, that kind of falls into it as well. That's all we serve. My focus is more the marketing, ad strategy. Christian's is everything to do with like the visuals, the designs, the Shopify, the themes, the apps. And we drop new content for you guys every single week, at least 2 videos every single week for you to help you grow your business. And if you subscribe in the next 3 seconds, I will share with you a real life screenshot of my old MySpace profile. Just kidding, actually, I probably don't have that. If you do it in the next 3 seconds, I will share with you a screen grab. I won't show you the actual video. I'll share with you a screen grab from a music video that Christian and I did in our early days of YouTube. This video is well over 15 years old, so I'll show you guys a little behind the scenes. All right, so over here on the ad set level, again, nothing that we're going to do is going to change as far as the direction here. I'm not going for website and shop. I am only going for website, and you can test out the website and shop. We've had some success with that, but mostly the battle-tested, proven way across all the brands that we interact with, that we specifically focus on. Again, this is for clothing, jewelry, accessories, is all the website side of things. You're going to maximize for the conversions. The data set basically at this point is really just called your pixel. It's just kind of, I think they're trying not to confuse people. Why they have to change the naming, I don't know, but keep it as data set. Nothing's going to change. The conversion event that you're looking for is going to be purchase. Again, this is a dead account, so that's why it's all saying set up the conversion. You will have your pixel set up. You will make sure that it is going for actual purchases. That is the only thing that we are looking for when we are a clothing brand. And even inside of our program today, after telling people multiple times, I still have to tell them to go for purchases, quit trying to collect email addresses, quit trying to just send traffic, go for purchases here. I'm going to show more settings. This is all based off of a 7-day click, 1-day view. It also has a 1-day engaged view, which is interesting. 1-day engaged view is now selected by default to help maximize your campaign performance. Okay, not much we can do other than you could click this link and it would tell you a little bit more about what it actually is. don't really care about it too much. Budget and schedule, I always do a start date. If I'm launching a campaign, I always launch it at midnight, maybe 12:01. If I'm gonna launch it on April 16th, I'll do it at April 16th, 12:01 a.m. Sorry, not 12:01 p.m., but 12:01 a.m. Less competition. I've always done it. Shout out to John Loomer, Rick Mullery, like early ads manager days in 2014. They kind of taught me that, and I just haven't given it up. So, passing it on to you. Audience. So you can use a save audience. It says we will automatically reach people most likely to respond. Okay, interesting. You can use a saved audience. This is new. You can go after your website traffic, which is a custom audience, which is from the segment that I have showed you earlier. So you can do a segmented audience. There's not much traffic there. Look, if you're a new brand, I really wouldn't focus on going after website traffic. If your Facebook page doesn't have a ton of engagement, wouldn't really focus on that either. Minimum age, figure out who your audience is. Okay, 18 plus is fine if you don't know who your audience is and want them to go after everybody. You used to be able to focus on like gender. We can't. I used to say age, gender, location. Now it's just the default is the United States, and you can pick a different country, which defaulting to the United States because that's where we're at. Minimum age, again, if I'm going after, and I'm just saying this is like a clothing boutique and it's a newer one, the minimum age, oh, I didn't even know that. The minimum age I can go after is 25. So I can't even go after anything higher than that, which is interesting. All languages, again, I do, especially for the United States, I do like to pick English. Sometimes I get brands who are people who are not necessarily English first, and at least for the ads that we're running, we're focused on English speaking. So I've had better success going after English audiences here. Scroll on down. You can further the limit reach of your ads. So it says only switch setups if you need to limit your ads reach to a specific age range, gender, or custom audience. Potential outcome in this current setup is up to 7% lower. Okay, so we can switch the current setup, at least as of right now. I'll do it to show you. Okay, and I can change the age range and I can change the gender. If I really only want to go after women, great. And if I really want to change the age, at least it's an option now. It's giving me another option to do interest targeting. So I technically can switch back and forth between that. Probably not going to because this is the future and I'm going to go back to switching to the recommended setup. But it is an option for you, and it is, they kind of like used to have it blue and like really easy for you to see, and now it's like this little gearbox and a little bit harder to do. So looks like you can go to switching the setup, and then you can go to audiences and add in different audiences that you would like. Interesting. And save the actual audience for the future. Pretty cool, but not really needed. Placements, not really looking to anything that's going to be changed. Placements, controls, skippable ads, brand safety and sustainability. You're not going to really change anything here. If that is something in your ads that you normally adjust, then go ahead and do so, but it's not really anything that we mess with on the ad set level on our end. One other thing I did want to mention though is that on here I usually did get rid of the audience network. We've gone ahead and just left that as is. Doesn't really affect too much of the performance as we've seen so far. All right, before we even get into the ad side of things, I just wanted to like quickly touch on the fact that if your ads aren't working, it's almost never the audience piece. It's never really the ad set level. And like, here's the rule right now in 2025 and beyond, no matter what. I hope this video is valid for you in 2030, but more content, better content, new formats, showing real people wearing your pieces. Now, there comes a point where more content is not always better content. Knowing how to find and create a winning ad is more important than just continue to push out crappy content, right? I'm all in favor of more content, but you should also know how to create an ad and a concept that actually works first, right? So we have this document that is our content scaling strategy document that's more so helping you understand the focus and your offer, and then it has examples of the types of content that you would look at. They're all in type of like foreplay boards, but they're winning ads that you would want to mimic. Those are more important than putting out more content. So better content and then more. If you continue to put on better content, then I want you to do the volumes. And if you want the link to the foreplay board and you want the examples of what's working right now, just comment foreplay down below, send that over to you. But really, I'm most concerned or most focused on making sure you get winning ads into the campaigns more than you are about tons of ads. I think that's what a lot of people are preaching, is just create more content, which I am as well, but I'm using that as a mouthpiece for organic so that you can find out what works as you're testing new things to get better. How do you get 1% better with each piece of content that you can eventually put into the actual ads? I'll also say too that this isn't about the perfect ad, just one perfect ad. It's about stacking 5 to 10 quality angles and letting the algorithm do the sorting. That's really the focal point here. Is one ad is not really going to scale the business. It's also not going to tank the business either, so it's a positive. But more winning ads stacked together, that's where you get stability within the account. As another side note, kind of before we leave this ad set level, you no longer need to micromanage the budget at the ad set level anymore. You can do it at the campaign level, and you don't have to micromanage your ad account either, because you should be focusing on what's working on outside of the campaign. They're actually making it much easier for you with the broad targeting, with the campaign budget optimization, and with taking away a lot of the options, less things for people to push, but more opportunity for you to focus on the creative. Okay, so over here on the ad level, very simple. Again, you can turn on the ad preview. You will have your Facebook page, you will have your Instagram account. Nothing's really gonna change there. This branding piece, it says, represent your brand in AI text and image generation by setting branding default for this ad and future ads. Okay, what does this look like? You can add in your logo, your text tone, defining your colors. We haven't touched too much of this, just letting you know this is an option here. Do you need to do anything with it? No, you do not. It is an option. All right, so this says create a catalog and drive more sales with Advantage Plus catalog ads. Not the point for what we're doing here. I do suggest for you to do a flexible campaign. So flexible allows you to put in multiple ads. It's the old DCT, or dynamic creative testing. It's the old way of doing the ads, and flexible is kind of the new way, the new approach. It is the way that we would do our creative concepts here. But again, not really anything that is going to change from a previous campaign setup. We suggest about 3 pieces of creative, photos or videos. So it will look kind of not like this, actually, because the ad level is really where the flexible happens, and there's multiple pieces of creative here versus the ad set. However, you'll turn off the ad at the ad level than you will be at the ad set. Think of it as a concept of like these us versus them. You'll have, this is concept 1, this would be an ad set, or this would be one flexible. The bullet points would be another flexible. You would also want to make sure that it is, if they are bullet points, they are bullet points with visual changes that are videos. And the before and after, again, there's visual changes, there's differences, but there's 3 images. And then let flexible figure out which one of these is actually winning. You put in your primary text, your headlines just like normal. You'll have your normal destination, nothing changes there. Creative, add Advantage Plus creative optimizations. You can see the options of what's available here, not anything that's changed from previously. Change this to a shop now. Make sure your tracking is set up. As I mentioned earlier, if you're spending a decent amount or you're running ads on Meta and Google and TikTok, make sure you add in your triple well parameters here. And that is everything. We're not worried about the actual event. I'm setting everything else up like normal. All right, so if your ad account feels messy, scattered, or unpredictable, or you really are just like, what the heck do I even do? You don't worry, you're not alone. We've helped dozens, actually hundreds of clothing brands clean up their campaigns and scale smart this year and many years. As this continues to change, I understand it can be a lot. But you can jump on a free strategy call. They're obviously limited. We only open up a handful every single week. And if you want help simplifying your ad structure, finding out more about your business, and just getting clarity with what is actually happening so you can scale your clothing brand and hit your goals, make sure you check out the link in the description down below so you can schedule a call with us. Obviously, the spots are limited, so go do that now, and we'll see you on the other side. Couple of quick tips. Number 1, make sure that your landing page, the place that they're landing, typically a product page or a collection page, is fast. Make sure that you focus on your website and the conversion side of things, because again, this side of things inside of Meta is a factor, but if you have a crappy website, for lack of a better term, it's not going to be helpful for you. It's actually going to hurt your ads. So please make sure that the site is fast. Please make sure that you have a great post-click experience, that you have good mesh between your messaging on what the ad is and then the website that they are going to. Make sure that you have a mobile-first layout so it's very simple and easy for them to scroll. And like I said, it's just got to be very fast. All of those things play a factor on whether or not ads are successful, and I don't really hear a lot of people talk about that because everyone thinks they can fix the problems with good creative and the ad setup, but really your website matters a ton here, that post-click experience. All right, so now you've got the new blueprint, a clean structure, and a focus on the creative, simplified setup that actually scales this year. Now it's time to learn how to build those offers that drive real conversions. Go watch this video on the formula that we have used to scale hundreds of clothing brands that are just like you. Go watch that video right here next. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching this video. We will see you next time, and P.S. make sure you subscribe.